Bands with long careers, you hear about them all the time, but some are in a whole other category. And this is one of those stories. The Searchers are calling it quits after 68 years.
Yeah, wow.
68 years. So if you're anything like us, and I think a lot of our listeners are, we love these deep dives into what really makes pop culture, like what makes it last.
Absolutely.
This is a band that's got a story to tell.
It really is. You think about it, formed in Liverpool, 1957. That's even before the Beatles kind of exploded on the scene. They were right there at the start of it all.
Yeah, the Merseybeat scene.
The Merseybeat, that's right. I mean, to last that long, nearly 7 decades in pop music, that's incredible.
It really is. And I think what's interesting, too, is, they weren't just a kind of a local phenomenon. I mean, they had millions of records sold.
Oh, for sure.
Some real iconic hits. We're talking about When You Walk in the Room.
Oh, fantastic song.
That was originally by Jackie DeShannon, but their version, man.
Oh, yeah.
Their #1 hit, Sweets for My Sweet.
Oh, okay.
And Sugar and Spice. I mean, these aren't just oldies.
Yeah.
These are kind of foundational pop tracks.
Foundational.
Yeah, absolutely. So after all this time, what's leading to this final curtain call?
Well, the guitarist, John McNally, he's 83 now, and the bass player, Frank Allen, 81. And they've spoken pretty openly about it. Age is certainly a factor, but I think more than that even is just the grind of touring. Frank Allen, the bass player, said that, the actual performing part, that still energizes them.
Right.
But it's the travel, it's the motorways, the heavy traffic, all that kind of stuff. And you can imagine that year after year, decade after decade, it takes a toll.
It really does. And what's interesting is, this isn't even the first time they've thought about packing it in, is it?
No, you're right. Back in 2019, they said, that's it, we're done. I mean, they were doing something like 200 shows a year. It was relentless.
Wow.
But then they kind of had this unexpected comeback. I guess they enjoyed not doing it for a while. And there was a show they did in Liverpool, which Frank Allen described as an epic night.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of reignited the passion for it.
So, I mean, they had such an incredible run. What do you think? Like, what is it that made them connect with audiences for so long? Why do their songs still resonate?
Well, Frank Allen, again, I think he had a really interesting point. He talked about, being part of that very first wave of pop history. If you're there at the beginning, if you have an impact, then it seems to last. And what's really fascinating is that, you think about some of the American artists that have been influenced by them. The Byrds, Tom Petty, Marshall Crenshaw, even Bruce Springsteen have all talked about the Searchers as being an influence. And you can really hear it.
Yeah.
You can hear those jangly guitars, the harmonies. It's definitely there.
That's a huge reach. It wasn't just a local thing or even a British thing.
No, not at all.
So who is in the band now as they head into this final chapter?
It's Frank Allen and John McNally. Those two guys have been there forever. And then also Spencer James and Richie Burns. And get this, their last performance ever is going to be their first appearance at Glastonbury.
Oh, wow.
Glastonbury Festival, yeah. June 27th, they're playing the acoustic stage.
Glastonbury. I mean, talk about going out on top.
I know.
That's a pretty major festival to be making your debut at.
It really is.
There's 68 years to end it there.
Yeah.
With headliners like Neil Young, Olivia Rodrigo.
Yeah.
It's almost poetic.
Yeah, it is. It really speaks to their lasting appeal.
Yeah.
I mean, even now, they're being invited to perform at one of the biggest music festivals in the world. It makes you wonder why they never played it before.
Yeah, why not? Right.
But maybe this timing, their final show, maybe it makes it even more special.
Yeah.
Who knows?
So to sum it all up, we're talking about The Searchers, a truly legendary band, part of pop music history. I mean, you can't take that away from them. With a 68-year career, just incredible. They're deciding to retire on their own terms, and they're doing it with a final performance at Glastonbury.
Exactly. The end of an era.
It really makes you think, how does something last that long in the arts, stay relevant, stay creative? And I think for other artists who've been around for a while, this has got to be something they're thinking about too. What does the final act look like? It's a really interesting question.
It is.
Definitely something to ponder.